theater goers. Welcome to the LSCT Drama Department podcast with your hosts, Katie Perry
and Jackson Nugent.
Today we're back after a long break with two new hosts, and we're going to talk about what and who the podcast is for real quick. This podcast is designed to be a fun listening experience for people interested in getting a little glimpse into the theater department. We'll dive into behind-the-scenes content and even bring on some guests to interview about the ongoing shows here in the department.
Speaking of the department, today we have Jill Brumer, head of the theater department, with us today.
Yes.
Today's topic is a look into college theater. So we'll be looking at the differences between middle school, where Jill taught, and college theater versus our experiences in high school theater.
So one question we get commonly asked is, what got us into theater, and why did we join college theater? Does it even apply to our major, or is it just for fun?
Me personally, I joined theater in 8th grade because my mom said that I was very dramatic and that it should be on a stage. So, yeah, that's what she told me. So I joined in the 8th grade, and then I started doing productions in high school, and junior and senior year specifically. While I was never cast in a show, I did do tech, and it was a great experience. I did scenic design, I did student directing, I did set design. I did a bunch of things in tech. And now, so my major was originally music education, then it changed to theater education, then it changed to technical theater with a focus in sound design. And now I am looking for a degree in psychology, but I'm going to go back and get a degree in sound design or technical theater. So it does apply to a major that I will be getting.
Why did I join theater? I was kind of put in it randomly in high school. I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my elective, and so they kind of threw me in theater. I like to say that's the best thing that ever happened to me in high school because I fell in love with the fine art. I actually made free time with friends, so it kind of helped me grow from there. So whenever I went to college, of course, I instantly jumped on the idea of joining the theater department, and it's been fun ever since. And although I am going for an associate of art, so technically this does help me, mostly I just do it because it's good fun and because I enjoy doing productions. So.
Cool.
And Jill, we have a question for you.
Okay.
What got you interested in teaching theater at the college level?
That's a good question. I think I always knew I wanted to do that. When I graduated from college with my degree in drama, I realized that I needed to get an advanced degree or a terminal degree in order to teach at the college level because I enjoyed the feeling of college, and I kind of wanted to keep that going without still being in college. So I went back and got my master's degree, which allowed me to teach at the college level, and I've been doing that for 15 years now. I love this age range. I love the freedom that we have with learning stuff and the productions we get to do. It's kind of limitless at the college level, which is pretty exciting.
Yeah, that is exciting.
Did that answer the question?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next question we get asked most of the time is, what's the difference between high school theater for students, college theater, and for you, Jill, middle school? So how is theater different from a director standpoint in colleges versus middle school?
Yeah, I did work with middle school students for several years, so that was interesting. I went into a school that did not have a theater program, so I was also building a program from scratch, which can be hard, especially if kids aren't exposed to theater, then they don't know what it is. And that idea of just getting thrown into a class, that would happen all the time, right? And so maybe you have people that don't necessarily want to be there or don't even understand what it is, and so that can be harder. So you've really got to find things that connect with the students, and while also training them to get them comfortable on the stage. So my time in middle school was very much based on trying to get everyone comfortable on stage, right? And so sometimes we do small productions, and I think everyone always had a really good time doing it, but that wasn't the main focus because we weren't there yet. So the college level is a lot more exciting because probably you're going to be surrounded by other people who did do theater in high school or middle school, and now they're continuing to do it in college, which is exciting. So you're already surrounded by people that kind of have that training, or they know they're at least interested. So we can kind of like ramp up a little faster. Like some of the stuff that we get to do here, I definitely wouldn't be able to do at a high school or a middle school because you guys have already kind of done the fundamentals. And so then we can just kind of build on top of that, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say, I don't think I was ever on a stage in middle school theater. We had like a classroom and we would go up in front of everyone and do like, we did the prologue to Romeo and Juliet. Mm-hmm. Like that was what we did. We had like little assignments like that, but never, I don't think I was ever on stage at that age.
Weird.
Yeah.
You gotta try it.
Our next question is, do you prefer a certain age group for teaching, or like does a certain age group grasp onto the concepts that you want to teach better than another?
That's a good question. I think it depends on what it is you want to do. It's always kind of nice. I always joke when I'm teaching, it's great to come in without any experience because then you don't have any bad habits, right? And so I can kind of train you exactly the way I want you to be as an actor or technician. But that being said, it is always nice to work with people who understand like the basics of stage directions or, so there's pros and cons to both sides, right? It's kind of fun to have somebody who's totally fresh. But then it's always really great to work with someone who understands concepts and you don't have to start at square one. But I like working with both, and I think the community college level is kind of fun because you get a little mixture of both. I think every class we have, every production we do, there's people that are really comfortable and have done this a lot, and there's some people that maybe haven't done it before and just thought maybe they'd be interested. And so having that mixture is always kind of fun.
It is, yeah.
One of the next questions we want to ask you is, how are productions put on here versus where you've taught in the past?
Oh, sure. So we do at least one production every semester, and I serve as director on those. I try to pick pieces that connect to other teachers and what their curriculum is on campus. I try to choose plays that our students haven't seen a million times before. I try to do plays that make our audience think. And I'm really lucky that I am at a school that supports that, and we can kind of do some shows that I think are really important to be done, but they don't get done very often. And then I feel like our students leave here and their resume just looks very diverse and a lot more interesting than doing Annie again for the 15th time, right? We've all seen it. So like, what else is there out there? So yeah, working on production here is, I try to have a good variety of stuff, and I try to make sure it connects to our audience, and our audience is college students. So yeah, I don't know. I come at it, I always plan more than a year in advance. I'm already planning next season, and we're just now in January. But I always try to keep in mind like where our students are going to go next and what's going to support them best and what's going to look best on their resume, while also kind of challenging myself as a director so I don't get stale.
So you would say you would enjoy the creative freedom college offers you compared to other places?
That's a really great way to put it. Yeah, okay. I think so. Yeah.
That makes sense. Another question, well, more of a discussion point for us would be, what were our high school drama experiences versus our experiences in this department under your direction?
Now that I'm curious to hear about. What were your high school experiences like as opposed to your community college experiences?
Yeah. For me, high school theater wasn't bad, but it's not as enjoyable, I will say, than one semester here for college theater, which is a big surprise. I'm very happy about. High school theater, it wasn't as professional, and it was not as open to casting. It was sort of, if you made it once in the musical, you were always sure to make a part in the musical, which isn't bad, but it kind of stunts creativity and keeps an actor from branching out and trying out a part. Because how can you know you can play a part if you never give them a chance to play it? And that happened with main shows too. So for here to basically be as diverse as it is, to be casted as any role at any time, and that just because you got main role before doesn't necessarily mean you'll get it again.
Right.
And how we have right now, well, I guess people listening don't know, right now we're doing Suburbia, but we have a newcomer who came in and got main role, and I'm happy for them. And that makes sense because, like, I don't expect to get main role every single time. Because if you don't know, I played Nat from the Birds. And so I think that's amazing that we get this option to let a newcomer come in and do the main role, see how they do, see how they perform. And I find that really amazing because in high school, we had a kid who got lead role in the musical and got lead role in the musical the next year, and then the next year,
Right.
and then the next year,
Yeah.
and he just got main role. And I'm not like trying to insult him or anything, but people could have done the role better in certain aspects, I would think. So that's what I see as community college or college in general is better. I wouldn't know because I don't have any other experiences, but I would assume that's the same way it works at other places. And that's what I like college better than high school. High school was, it's a longer time to do performances, but that's just because you have a semester to do it in college and you have like 4 or 9 weeks in high school. That's the only gripe I have, but that's just because like, I'm used to high school schedule, so like I think I'll grow out of it, but I guess timing would be a little bit negative, but at the same time, that's just personal opinion, so don't really take that with like, factual, so.
That's true. We are in kind of a shortened schedule trying to get productions up here as opposed to in high school you have all semester to work on it. Sure.
Yeah. My high school experiences were very similar. I was never casted, even though I did audition for most shows, especially musicals, because my background is in music. I was never casted, but the people that were casted were the same ones casted every time. And it was very cliquish because those same groups of people that were always casted were the ones that were friends with each other. It was like the directors knew these groups of people and were like, they'll work well together, we're just going to put them in the roles. And they wouldn't really give other people opportunities unless it was incoming freshmen because they would find their new favorites, at least in my experience. Now, I was one of the favorites for the technical aspect of things. I was one of the most trusted students, but there were a lot of students that were kind of pushed to the side and not given those opportunities to build that trust or those opportunities on stage, which I think was like a big loss of opportunity on the director's part because they could have seen so many more people on stage and prepared them for a major that they actually want to do.
Yeah.
So, and here, you were the first director that actually casted me in a show.
That's crazy.
I know, it is very crazy. And I'm very grateful for the opportunities that you've given me because I love both the technical opportunities you've given me and the acting opportunities, and I love doing both sides, especially sound design. Doing sound design has become like a huge passion for me.
Yeah, and I think it's so good to be well-rounded, right? And to try to get on stage, but also be able to talk to those technicians. I think, I hope that everyone who comes out of this program here at Tomball feels like they're a more well-rounded theater student because they did get some experience on stage. They can help out backstage. They can learn how to do all these different things. And you're not pigeonholed into like one thing, like you always do this, so that's the only thing that you can do. I dislike that greatly. I think that you guys are very talented and we're a school, so you should be here to learn, right? And there's no reason to stick with the same people doing the same thing every time when we have such a great wealth of talent here. And I also really like how kind you guys are to each other. It's not very like cutthroat. It's not like if I don't get the lead role in this and she does, and I'm going to be so upset. Like I feel like everyone here is really supportive.
Yeah.
And that just breeds more creativity, and it's just like a nice, friendly place to work. And then you're like, well, I didn't get that part, but I got this other thing that I'm doing, and that's awesome. And I'm just glad to be part of it. And I love the energy that you guys bring to it and how open you are to like taking on any challenge that comes your way.
Yeah, that's like a good point because in high school there was this girl who whenever she didn't get the lead role in one of the musicals we did, she boycotted theater completely.
Right.
She showed up to the rehearsals like she was supposed to, but she just sat in the hallway on her phone because she did not want the role she got, even though she accepted it. Like she just did not want it. But we don't find that here. I don't think anyone here would do that. We're more mature. We are more supportive of each other, which I think is great.
I agree. No, we have a really great department here. You guys are awesome to work with, so keep it going.
Yeah, to add on to what Katie said, one big difference between high school and community college is surprisingly the community.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Because in high school, you have cliques and you have groups, and it just gets weird because it's like, if you don't make it into the popular group with the teachers, or you don't make it into the group with other people, you don't make friends, and it's not fun. You're isolated. You're in a group to learn and act together, but then you don't interact outside of your shows or your classes. While in community college, everybody gets to know each other. I'm a newcomer, and I practically know everybody here, and that's surprising. I thought I would never get to do that in high school. Whenever I came into high school, it took me 2 years to know everybody in the department, 2 years to even like talk to everybody, because everybody would be like, "You're new, we don't know you, just stay over there. You can try and get parts, yada yada." So it's kind of fun to interact with everybody for the first time, really, and really get to know everybody, and like join in production right away, and then like build onto that and actually be like real actors in real life who like make connections with other people and expand upon that in the natural community. So.
Yeah, it's kind of fun here too because there's always like kind of a rotation, right? Like I feel like we have some new people joining us for our spring show. We had some people graduate in December, so it's always kind of this rotating wheel of awesome creatives coming in and out of the theater, and I like that. I think, and I like that you guys are open to that as well. It's not like, who are you? Why are you here? Right? Everyone here is very like opening and welcome, and I love that.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but we've had alumni come back to do shows before, right? Because
Yeah.
this summer, didn't we have an alumni come back to do This Side of Heaven?
We did, yeah. So that was really fun, and I love that she felt comfortable. She reached out to me and was like, "Is this weird?" And I was like, "No, please come. We'd love to have you." So yeah, I think keeping the door open to our graduates while also teaching new people and people that have been here for a few semesters. Like I think that's what it takes to be a wonderful, creative, growing space.
Yeah, I agree completely.
Well, I think that's it for today, folks. But next podcast will be February the 9th. So if you have no free time, not no free time. If you have any free time that day,
Tons of time.
Yeah, please check us out. We'd really appreciate it. Drama Club is meeting today, but today being January 26th. And then movie night is next week, so if you want to come down and watch an enjoyable film, we'll put that on. Suburbia will be playing March 8th to 10th if you're not in the loop about our show we're putting on this semester. And if you want to know more about it, say, like do your own research so you know what to come into the film, you can ask Jill for a synopsis. I'm sure she'll be willing to give it to you if you want it.
Absolutely. Just real quick, so Suburbia, yes, will be here in the Black Box in March, right before spring break. Tickets are just $5 with a student ID. It is set in the mid-1990s in a small suburban town. The whole play takes place over the course of one evening in front of a convenience store where several of the town's they're in their early 20s. They've all kind of just graduated from high school, but they're not quite sure what to do with their life, and they're not quite sure how to get out of this suburban town. And the play deals with the concepts of belonging, who belongs and who doesn't. It deals with the concept of racism and violence. So parental advisory for the show, but I think it's a really important piece. It turns 29 years old this year, but still feels very, very much like it could have been written in 2022. So I hope that you guys will join us March 8th, 9th, and 10th at 7 p.m.
Yeah. Okay, that's all for this podcast. We will see you guys on February 9th. We hope to see you back and send it to your friends. All right.